Tom Clark's Main Event is a Boink Studios production. And now, on with the show.
This is Daddy's show. Step off.
Hey, what is up? Welcome back to the program, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Tom Clark, and this right here is Tom Clark's Main Event. What's up, kids? Welcome back to the program. You caught me again, not ready. This is week 2 of the show where I'm like doing some stuff here, like cross-promoting and branding and whatnot, you know, because that's what we're all about, right? And I almost didn't make the hey bit. What's happening here, man? It's falling apart. Cats and dogs living together. It's mass hysteria. Get some references going, baby. That's what we do here. We drop references like mad. You'll find out. Never watched a show before? You're about to learn some stuff. I don't know if you will. But it sounded good, right? I did 2 straight shows last night. 2 episodes of the 6M podcast available on all the major platforms. Tom Clark 6M podcast. Movies, music, Marvel, magazines, miniseries, and more. Last night, we did Batman 1989. It's awesome. Followed by That Thing You Do. That was awesome. That was so much fun. I sat in this chair for 9 straight hours. Not 9. Jesus, that's something. 4 hours, 4.5, 5 hours. It felt like 9, but it was a good feeling. You know why? Geek, baby. Nerd. You see what I'm saying? By the way, if you need some Tom Clark's Main Event merch, oh, man, watch this. Oh, look out. And usually I've got my cup. The coffee cup, I'll just pantomime it. See, it's got the logo. Guess why I don't have, let me put it back. I don't want to drop it. You know why I don't have it right now? Because I've drank a whole pot of coffee. I'm not even making that up. Can you tell? This is total fact, no fiction, baby. Whole pot. Myself, no help. You think I'm playing? Come at me. All right. We're going to get some comments out of the way, some introductions or some greetings, and then we're going to go to our guests. That's right. You know them and you love them. We've got, the Hardy Boys. I'm just kidding. We don't have the Hardy Boys. But wouldn't that be awesome? All right. First up, Ray All Day. What's going on, my friend? Good to see you. We're going to zip through these so we can get rolling with the show. Davey, how are you today? Mark, good to see you, my friend. Alicia, how you doing? Ray, everything's all good here, baby. Good to see you. Sugar Shane in the house. Sandy in Germany. Good to talk to you, sir. Thank you so much for hanging out as always. Christopher, how are you, dude? Shannon, welcome back to the show. Eric Jackson in the house, everybody. Oh, God, look who's here. Tag himself. Not Troy. Not Troy Grant. Troy Anthony Grant. Get it straight, okay? Dude, thanks for watching, man. Choche Vega, where are you, my friend? Good to see you again. I haven't seen you in a while, dude. Ron Emerson, what's going on, my friend? Thanks for hanging out. Jumping Jeff Sharma back in the house. You hang around too long, you're going to get a nickname. Ask Chad Too Bad. He'll tell you. What's up, Chad Too Bad? Don't you be hitting me with stuff already. What does he say? I don't agree with the direction of my character, and so I'm going to be... He's going to a competing podcast. Chad is stoking the flames this morning of the headline we're going to get to soon. Chad Too Bad. That is the freaking comment of the day, and we just started. I can go ahead and sign off. Good night, everybody. Holy God, that was awesome. If anyone's going to do any better than that, good luck to you, because that was great. One more, we're going to get started. What's up, Tim? Always a loyal viewer, always a loyal fan. I appreciate you guys. We're going to go ahead and throw it to our guests back here on the Main Event in quite some time. We haven't seen him in a while. I have no nickname for him. I could call him Sir James, but that may be a British joke that doesn't work for him. I don't know. But James Loved in the house. You like that, James?
Yes.
And we're also joined today by Ben Jackson. Both of these gentlemen are from the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. Ben, welcome to the Main Event for the first time.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me, man. It's cool to be here.
Absolutely, man. It's very cool. James pitched this to me, and I was like, dude, yes, let's do it, man. Troy couldn't be with us.
He spent a long time last night implying that I should not swear. So,
yeah. We do try to keep it clean. As I tell the...
Full Danhausen.
Yes.
No swearing.
as I tell the audience here, in real life, Tom can curse like a sailor. But this is the main feed here is Wrestling Rumors, where I contribute. So yeah, I try to keep it clean so the bosses remain happy. So yeah, we try to keep it PG wherever possible.
No worries, dude. No worries.
Everyone, please welcome Ben to the show. Kids, this is Ben. Ben, these are the kids. Everybody,
Hello.
please say hello to Ben.
Hi.
So there you go. Davey says, respect the beards. Oh, well, there you go. See? Ben,
Yeah,
you're
really when I first met Jay, his beard was a lot longer than mine, and now the tables have turned.
Yeah.
Oh,
He's still got the hair. I've gone bald. He's still got the hair, so he's still. So
man, the beard game is happening today, kids. Mine is pretty tame. Can I be honest with you? If it gets past here, I can't stand it. I do this and I'm like, oh, it's just, woo, I can't do it, man. I recently had it trimmed and I feel like I lost 6 pounds off my body. So
that's fair.
yeah,
That's
man.
fair.
Before, I'm not going to put the banner up, kids, but you guys know where you can get your Tom Clark's main event swag. tinyurl.com/TomClarkPods, PODS. You can get Tom Clark's main event merchandise, Tom Clark 6M podcast merchandise. Ask Sandy in Germany and a few others of you here who've got shirts. They'll tell you this is quality stuff, baby. And the logo, designed by hand by yours truly. I know you can tell. But listen, Photoshop's fun. I'm just saying. It's countless hours to figure this stuff out, but once you get it, you kind of got it. I'm just saying. So there you go. Everyone go drop some money. And as I always say, trust me when I tell you, I'm not getting rich off any of you. That's the truth. So there you go. James, I've asked you and Troy this before. When are we going to get some merch from the Untitled Wrestling Podcast?
That's completely in Troy's wheelhouse. That one. That's nothing to do with us. You can get merchandise off Ben's brewery though, Top Rope Brewing, wrestling themed brewery. You've got plenty of stuff, haven't you, Ben?
We have, yeah. We've got, well, we're actually getting some new t-shirts done because we're kind of running out of t-shirts, but we've got like enamel coffee cups. We've got some nice beanies we just got made. Yeah, you can head over to topropebrewing.com, check them out, and yeah,
Nice.
we can ship merch to the US. We just can't ship beer because law and like imports and stuff. It's weird.
Wow. That's awesome. Kids, go check out the website, man. Oh, Troy hit us with the store opens March 1st for all UWP merch. Uh-oh.
That's news to all of us.
Oh.
Troy coming in with a hot exclusive. We don't
Troy
even know
just
that.
breaking exclusives that we don't even know.
He picked the show to drop the bomb. I like that. Let's see. Sugar Shane says, Tom, you're where'd you go, Shane? Oh, I lost him. I'll find him. Tom, your guests look like the Viking Raiders.
I'll
Yeah.
take that.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
We'll try to come up with a better name for you. I'm just saying.
I mean, you
So-
promised the Hardy
What-
Boys, and then
What
like,
about
you know,
War Machine? That's not been used, has it?
Yeah, it's just sitting there. So yeah. And by the way, are they Viking Raiders or are they Raiders that raid Vikings? Are they, you see what I'm saying?
Are they Viking Raiders or Raiders of Vikings?
Right.
Yeah.
Don't worry
Not
about
very
it.
clear. I don't know what to compare that to. Like if you're British and you're a podcaster, are you a podcaster or the British podcaster? Or I don't know. It doesn't make any sense.
Or a podcaster about the British, maybe?
Yeah. See, this makes sense. Yeah. Kids, I don't know if you guys follow pro wrestling. If you don't, why are you here? I mean, other than all this, I mean, this is my money. You see what I'm saying? I got a face made for radio, but it's all good because if you do follow wrestling, you know what's up. I got 2 words for you. Cody Rhodes. There's a whole bunch of people out there. By the way, this is episode number 261 of the podcast. Celebrate. All right, moving on. A whole bunch of people out there who think this whole thing's a work. It's all not real. It's fiction. Nothing about this is real. It maybe this is smoke and mirrors. Can I get a yeehaw?
See what you did there.
I'm just saying. This show is puntastic. So Ben, you're first with us here today. So, dude, what do you make of the Cody Rhodes stuff, man? What's your comment on all this?
It's just been absolutely crazy, hasn't it? So obviously there were rumors, like there was rumors a couple of months back that like he'd had a big falling out with all the other EVPs, that he wasn't talking to Kenny and the Bucks very much, and then there was that weird story that broke again back before Christmas that like he was like alienating people in the locker room, that like people weren't coming to him for advice anymore. And then it's all just kind of snowballed. Obviously, we knew from like December that he didn't have a contract, but then it was always just, they'll sort it out. It's just, you just sort of assume, don't you? Like, oh, it'll be fine. And then it's all, and then it just sort of picked up pace like earlier this week, and it's gone from Cody's working on a handshake deal to Cody might be leaving to Cody has left, and now it's maybe Cody might be there in Elimination Chamber like this weekend. So it's snowballed like so quickly, and I can't remember the last time something this potentially massive has happened so quickly and so out of nowhere.
James, the obvious answer is money. So I feel like Jeopardy. What is money, or what is the answer is money. Here's the question: you're a co-founder of AEW. You could argue without Cody, none of this happens. Jericho wasn't a co-founder. They needed Cody in order for this to happen, just like they needed Kenny and the Bucks. You could argue that one maybe is more important than the other. I don't know if you want to go down that road or not, but without Cody, this arguably doesn't happen. You've got everything, and you stand to gain everything in the world by staying. Your name goes down in history and you spend the next 20 years, hopefully, with this company, and you can see it grow into your golden years. Why are you leaving? I mean, James, is it just money? What's going on?
It definitely seems that way. I think the thing with Cody is, I think in his head, he wanted to be the guy. He wanted to be like the John Cena of AEW. And obviously they brought in guys like Danielson, Punk, even guys like Moxley, who have kind of overshadowed Cody. And obviously with them doing the whole I'm never going to win the world championship thing, that kind of hamstrung him, because it was like, well, you can't really position yourself as a main eventer without the title too far away. And he tried to do it with the TNT title, but it's always kind of, and the TNT title holds a hell of a lot of prestige. I'm not like belittling that belt, but it's not the world championship. And it felt to me that he was trying to kind of, almost, as I say, trying to position himself in the main event without being a main event guy. And I think the thing is as well is his value has dramatically increased since he left WWE. He did the whole like list on Twitter of like the dream matches and things he wanted to do. He did All In. He did AEW. Him coming into WWE is a massive get if it does happen. It's just going to be an interesting one to kind of sit back and watch, isn't it?
Absolutely. And we've got a lot of folks here in the chat talking about it's all about money. Kids, before we go any farther, please hit the like button, hit the notifications bell for me. All right. Everybody here, please hit that for me. I would very much appreciate it. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best. Please hit those buttons for me. So yeah, that I don't know if I buy. I threw the money thing out there because that's the obvious answer. I mean, has Cody Rhodes at a spot in his life been where it's like, show me the money or I'm out of here? I can't speak for the guy. Don't know him personally. I don't know if I buy that.
No. So a lot of the what we have at this point really is like rumors and sort of backstage sources and from various journalists. A lot of people have been saying that it's related to like his diminishing role like within the company, which goes into a bit what Jay said. Like he wants to be. I don't think it's so much he wants to be the guy as in he wants to be the world champion. I think he wants to be the guy as in like he wants to be doing more in the company, because there's a lot of talk about. Remember back a couple of years ago in December, we had that really bad episode of Dynamite ending where the Dark Order were doing like horrible punches in the middle of the ring.
Yeah.
So apparently that was like the boiling point where Tony Khan stepped in and took over like most of the booking and like started writing, not so much writing the show, but like directing the sort of direction it was going in. And so ever since then, the EVPs have seen their sort of influence in the product like decrease, and like I think that's what's really rankled Cody. And I saw like someone said like apparently when Forbes did an interview with Tony Khan earlier this year, and like Tony Khan was saying, yeah, I'm the main guy, I write it, I run it. Apparently that's what really upset Cody quite a lot, is like being marginalized, but on like in like a backstage sort of position as opposed to more like not being the world champion.
Yeah, that's Tony just talks and talks and talks, right? My God, someone take the phone. as someone else that's famous in this country for all the wrong reasons, take the phone out of this guy's hand. Like, yeah, I don't know, dude. I just, I will tell you this from being in locker rooms a lot over the years. When you are not one of them, you are not looked at the same. It doesn't mean that wrestlers are bad people and they all go, look at that guy, he's an idiot. It's not everyone's like that. Not everyone's a bad guy or a bad girl, right? But there is a line. And I'm telling you, in my opinion, no matter how close they are to Tony, and I get it, he's great. Dude, at some point there's conversations without there being conversations, a knowledge, a common denominator of this guy's not really one of us. Like he's great. We love him. He's awesome, but he doesn't bump. He doesn't travel the road. He doesn't know what it's like to trust someone with your livelihood, to trust someone with your body. He doesn't know this. And I'm telling you, there's the idea of a brotherhood and sisterhood is very real. So how much do you think, James, behind the scenes there's been, well, he can't take that away from me. I mean, Tony, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? How much is playing? Because Cody's old school too. How much of that you think's playing in here?
I think the thing with Tony Khan, which like it's kind of it's a good thing, but it's also a bad thing, is that he's a fan first. So he doesn't have that kind of like camaraderie with the wrestlers as a wrestler. He's got it from a fan's point of view, and it's good because he's got like his finger on the pulse as far as like what the fans want to see, but also from like the wrestler's standpoint, maybe not so much.
Yeah, you know what, I get that. Here's something I haven't heard. Christopher Sims says here he is buying ROH. Has anyone heard that? Because that's the first I've heard of this.
No, I've not heard that.
I've not heard of that. I'm not going to go fantasy book that, but wow, that would be.
It seems the main thing is WWE, doesn't it? Like
yeah,
that's the where the smoke seems to be coming from.
I hear you. Eric, who does not have a nickname yet, says, I'll be down in the South in 24 hours, heading to South Carolina. Oh, brother, it's cold. Beware. It's cold. So, yeah, have a safe trip there, Eric. So, yeah, see, Sugar Shane says, Cody, where'd you go? Cody going back to WWE will be like Adam Cole in AEW, a mid-carder at best. Oh, God, Ray, he's coming for you. Ray Dean's a huge Adam Cole fan, Jay. He still is, in case you didn't know. I disagree with you, Shane. I don't view Adam Cole as a mid-carder. Can I ask you guys a question? And Ben, I'll start with you. Is there even a mid-card in AEW? To me, I don't even know if I feel that structure. Maybe I'm off base, but to me, and you know, the old saying is a pro wrestling show should be a variety show, a little something for everybody. Dynamite to me feels more like a variety show than Raw and SmackDown does. It doesn't feel like the whole show hinges on one screw that holds together the body of Roman Reigns or Brock Lesnar. It feels like a true variety show. Is there really a mid-card in that company, Ben, you think?
I don't really think so. AEW, it's never been a promotion to sort of build itself around one person. Even like the world champions have never dominated the shows the way they do in the likes of WWE. Like in terms of the way I always view it is like you've always got your main event scene, haven't you? So you've got at the moment it's Hangman, and well, funnily enough, Adam Cole is going to be his next challenger. But then it seems like you've always got like 5 or 6 guys just sort of bubbling under the surface, and like at any point they can just like they've done it with Miro, they do it with Lance Archer every now and then, they did it with Orange Cassidy last year, they've done it with Pac. It just takes the smallest little nudge to push a guy up into the main event scene because they're all just set at like second level. And they seem to keep a lot of people like sort of warmed up, ready to go, and then as soon as they need them, they just sort of pop them straight up into a feud.
They have a bench. They have a bench, and WWE doesn't kind of have a bench. WWE has a locker room, and they're all kind of just floating around. It's like walkers on The Walking Dead. They're just kind of bumping into each other, and you know. And then like one of them gets plucked out and you know dolled up and put new gear on. Hey, go out there and do stuff. That to me, that's what it feels like. Whereas AEW, like you said, these guys are warming the bench, and they're like, as soon as your jersey's called, your number, bam, you're in the game. To me, that's what it feels like. If that's, by the way, kids, if that's hate on Vince's company, so be it. That's just my take. You don't have to agree with it, but it just feels like that James, it feels like they have so many more options, and they can do something next week you never would have saw coming. Then they can do it again the next week. Whereas other companies are so predictable. I don't get that from them at all.
Yeah. Even like looking at to kind of add to Ben's point, you look at like tag teams. So like Lucha Bros, obviously they're doing the whole Pentagon Dark tease at the moment. Sounds like he's going to be having a match with Malachi Black at some point. But it's cool that like they can kind of do that and go, oh yeah, well these guys are still going to be a team. We're not going to break them up, but they're just going to handle the business on their own at the moment. It reminds me a bit of the Attitude Era, the way they had like. So, funnily enough, me and Ben were talking about this last night. They have in the Attitude Era, they had like about 6 to 8 guys who were the main event team, and they could kind of chop and change who they needed to step into that role. And that's definitely what AEW have got at the moment. Even to the point where like they just brought Lance Archer back just to do that match with Hangman, like readily slotted him into the main event, and now he's going to do whatever he does after that.
That is a fantastic analogy. I love that because you're 100% right. It is. Wow, that's really good, dude. Yeah, because they did have 4 to 6 top guys that could believably challenge for the title. I don't know that they have 6 guys right now that could believably challenge for the title. There's guys that we think could, but in their world, in their kayfabe world, no, there's not. I mean, they could say, but no, not the way the pecking order is. At least in their reality, their pecking order is not. We can sit back and talk about, oh, Tom Owens. Oh my God. How closer is he today than he was yesterday? I don't know that he is, but like you said, Attitude Era and modern AEW, it's a little different. We're going to try to put a pin in this Cody Rhodes stuff, kid. I could do this all day. We totally covered you up there, Ben. My apologies. Robbie says, I don't think this has anything to do with money. Cody got a raw deal with how he was used as a wrestler in WWE. Him helping start AEW has him a passion for the business that I haven't seen in him, and it was awesome. Why would he walk away from it? Even if he isn't on AEW TV, he could still catapult the company to new heights. I guess the only guy that can answer all these questions is Cody, and he ain't talking. I mean, that's the issue. He thanked everybody and thank you, good night, and walked out, and they said, thanks for coming, and he walked out, and I don't know, dude. One more. Christopher Ray Patton says WWE isn't going to pay a guy $5 million to have him do nothing. He's probably getting a push and probably attacking Reigns after they unify the titles at Mania. I will submit, Chris, that they won't wait that long. I don't think Vince can wait that long, in my opinion. Ben, give me your opinion or your prediction. When do we see Cody in that company? And can they keep it quiet? Is it possible to keep it quiet?
I mean, the smart money is on Mania, isn't it? If they want, because they've said that obviously there's talk about Austin coming back for a match with KO. They've talked about another like quote Austin level surprise they're going to have lined up. Maybe we get The Rock coming back to confront Roman. Who knows? Do they want to do Cody as well? Like you said, convince wait. I mean, is he allowed to? You know how much money they get for those Saudi Arabia shows. Are they going to demand a big surprise there? Are they going to demand Cody Rhodes at Saudi Arabia?
James, you think we get him tomorrow night at WWE Blood Money Elimination Chamber? What do you think?
Funnily enough, What Culture put a video up before about Cody saying that he was sighted getting on a plane to Saudi Arabia. So, yeah.
Is this like that photo of Jericho in the airport several years ago where he was just like standing still and like he was really going to the Rumble that year, but then he kind of made out like the photo wasn't real and they're playing with everybody and
who knows? Who knows? I think the only person who really knows is Cody. I know Fightful Select put something up last night saying that WWE are going to be making an internal announcement at 10 a.m. on Tuesday. Now, that would indicate to me it's something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. Tim says, coming from a diehard AEW fan, I'm glad Cody is gone. AEW is in good hands right now. We have King Adam Cole, Bebe, and Jay White, so AEW are good. We'll see, Tim. I hope you're right. We'll see. I think time will tell. I can't wait to see what happens. Let's see. Gary, kids, the owner promoter of HVW, Gary Benfield, is here. Gary, we're going to get to that. In fact, it may be next. Oh my God, Gary, freaking crystal ball over there, my friend. In case you don't know, here's another big story happening right now. Just broke in the past 48 hours. EC3 and Adam Scherr, formerly known as Braun Strowman, control your narrative. Supposedly a TV deal is imminent. They've announced 2 shows in March. Ben, I have no idea what this is. They're not making it very clear. EC3 just kind of rants. It reminds me of Triple H back in the day as world champion, where at the end of the promo, you're like, what just happened? You know what I mean? Like, I'm not real sure where it's going. What's happening here? What do you think?
Oh, I mean, who knows? I mean, it's exciting to see another promotion potentially getting off the ground. I've always been a proponent that anywhere that gives people more places to work is a good move for the business, for the industry. EC3 is an interesting character. And the first time I saw him was when he first debuted in TNA back in the day. And he had a cracking run there. He's always been the type of guy to bet on himself. He's always been a confident individual. So, he's for the most part, his WWE run maybe aside, he's always kind of made it work when he's been given the opportunity. So who knows? It could be. I mean, I think people need to temper their expectations. This isn't going to be another AEW, I don't think. It's not going to come in as hot. Like, obviously, the money's not there. We're not talking about like a multi-million-pound backer here, like a Tony Khan. But especially with Ring of Honor sort of slowing down, it's great to see another promotion potentially springing up.
I'm 100% with you. I love the idea. I do. I don't want to see another Wrestling Society X. That was kind of a failed attempt. I hope it doesn't turn into that, but I'd love to see something happen. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on this because I was talking to Phil Lindsay. Big shout out to Phil Lindsay, kids, by the way. Everyone knows Phil. Good guy. Go look him up. I was talking to Phil about it, and I said, control your narrative. What does that mean? Because no matter what pro wrestling company it is, there's a boss. Does this mean the wrestlers run the show? Well, if wrestlers are running the show, then someone's still a boss. So I'm not sure what the acronym means, what it all means. I mean, Jay, what's your take on CYN, for goodness sake? What do you think?
So I watched the 2 shows they put out. They put them on their YouTube not that long ago. And it's different. It reminds me a lot of like Lucha Underground or Wrestling Society X, was another one that you just mentioned as well. It's shot differently. It's got like it's odd because it's not got a commentator. It's got a narrator. So it's very like it is very cinematic in the way it's done. I'm gonna check it out. I'm very intrigued by it. I don't know how they turn that into a televised product, but I'm intrigued.
So am I. Eric says, bringing back competition in wrestling. I'm liking it. AEW are the champs. Competition is mid. WWE are the man. I told you, I got some AEW fans here in this show. I'm gonna tell you right now. And and kids, this isn't, again, I've been accused, Tom, you bashed WWE. No, I'm not. The fact is that a whole lot of people out there have invested a whole lot of time and a whole lot of money in merch and a lot of Monday nights and a lot of pay-per-view nights and, a lot of ticket prices and money and whatnot with everything that company does. And after X number of months and years of getting lied to on the booking and well, this match is going to happen. No, it's not. And then they publicly go on TV and laugh at you and kind of talk down to you. And Vince goes on live TV and says he loves firing people at the holidays. I mean, you add all that up and you're eventually going to get some disgruntled fans. It doesn't necessarily mean, Tom's ranting, by the way, it doesn't necessarily mean we should hate WWE because they're the top guys. That doesn't mean that necessarily. For a lot of fans, they're disillusioned. Like, God, I'm tired of getting talked down to all the time. So New Japan typically doesn't talk down to fans. AEW, depending on your point of view, typically doesn't talk down to fans. WWE, it just seems like, hey, we're going to give this to you. We don't want it. Yeah, you do. No, we don't. Yeah, you do. You're going to love it. We don't love it. You're going to love it. Over and over. So I think I can't speak for all the kids here, but I would think that's where a lot of the issues are coming from. But again, that pro wrestling is all subjective, folks. You can take that rant and love it or hate it. It's completely up to you. So there you go. let's get somebody on here that has not. Let's see. You're mentioning Switchblade, Chad. Too bad. I like how Jay White is on both shows. Oh my God, I love Switchblade Jay White. Before the ascension of MJF, Jay White was the best heel in this business, bar none. Better than Seth, better than anybody. Ben, do you think we see Jay White full time in AEW? And if so, oh my God, what can he do as a full time top heel in that company, man?
It's fascinating. It's certainly intertwined into the. I think we haven't seen that. We obviously haven't seen the last of the sort of Kenny Omega, Adam Cole sort of tussle for the soul of the Young Bucks, have we, in AEW? And Jay White is just another sort of wrinkle in that whole story. It was crazy, like how he even got to be in AEW as well. I think Tony Khan tweeted that, like, when he mentioned about the Forbidden Door, didn't he, regarding Keith Lee's debut? And then he realized, like, the Forbidden Door means like a New Japan thing. So he just phoned up Jay White and like probably phoned up Rocky Romero and was like, "Can you get me Jay White for like Dynamite next week?" And then just got him because he needed to like make good on like the thing he misspoke, which is just insanity. Like, who can just pull Jay White out of the back pocket when they need to like make good on something that they promised the fans?
Yeah. Wait, let me. Yeah.
It's just like, imagine having that checkbook, especially if you're not putting that Cody Rhodes money on the table. Then you've got a bit of wiggle room. So
Cody's like, wait, I couldn't get paid, but Jay could. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Speaking of Jay, hello Jay. I love the Jay White thing. I freaking love it so much. I don't know what we get from here, but I love the idea of Bullet Club just kind of asserting itself. And if I can go back to one additional footnote to my insane rant just now, do any of us here on the screen or anyone in this chat believe that anyone in the other company would have said, "Oh God, man, fans took it the wrong way. Can we make good on this? Can you get me Jay White?" I just don't know if the other company would even care.
They just pretend they never said it.
Thank you. So if anyone here wants to bash Tony Khan's company, go with God, brother, I guess, if you want to. But just know that there are efforts, in my opinion, being made to make people happy. And do they hit the mark all the time? No. God, this has turned into a Tom Supports AEW show. I'm so sorry. Anyway, I can't help myself. Sometimes I just
that's it. Like, obviously, is Tony Khan a perfect person? No, we all saw that, especially over the new year with his mad Twitter rantings. But
yes.
Does he truly want to delight the fans first with his product? I think he does.
I agree. Totally.
Like, he books AEW to be as entertaining as he can make it.
Yeah, good call. Jay, I didn't mean to throw it to you and take it away from you.
Okay.
So what do you think about Jay White, man? What do you think about is there a world in which MJF's their top heel? Is there a world in which he gets shoulder to shoulder, or do you think that's going to happen even?
I think the interesting thing about Jay White is he's very much kind of like an unknown element, as far as he's been brought in by Adam Cole. He's been teasing a match with Adam Cole. He's obviously got the history with Kenny. And that's another thing that kind of goes a bit unsaid about AEW, is that they're not afraid to kind of bring up stuff that's happened in other companies. Like WWE, that person didn't have a career. Like, look at AJ Styles. He didn't have a career until he got to WWE. Even though, like, he was a massive star in Impact, he was a massive star in Japan, massive star in Ring of Honor. Whereas the first thing the book said was, "Well, you saw what he did to Kenny in Japan. Like, that's not cool." I like the idea that there's so many ways they can go with it. They can do Jay White versus Kenny. When Kenny comes back, they can have Jay White turn on Adam Cole, and then the books be like, "We told you this was going to happen." They can have Jay White wrestle Hangman while they're keeping that spot warm for MJF. There's so many potential things, and I think because of when he's shown up, it was like literally followed by Keith Lee. It got almost overshadowed by the fact that Keith Lee was like such a big thing. It was like, oh yeah, there's Jay White as well. It's crazy.
Wow. Oh, it's good stuff. And I love what you said. There's options. There's things they can do. They've got a big toy box over there, and they take the toys out and play with them, and they just do it the best way possible, in my opinion. It's so good. Everyone, please welcome Scott Larson from the Hashtag Truth Podcast. Scott, my apologies for not sending you the best wishes. Scott just recently had surgery. Scott, my friend, I hope you're doing well. He says, I so agree with you. I'm pretty sure no promoter loves to fire top talent, but sometimes you have to move on. I agree. I just think there's a better way to do it, a classier way to do it, for sure. Let's talk. And again, kids, we're leading off the AW in case you can't tell. Spoiler alert, Punk versus MJF. This is the storyline that keeps on giving. My wife used to watch wrestling with me quite a bit. Now, not so much, but if I say getting into AEW and she's in the room, she goes, "No, I'm not." But she likes Punk. She likes Mox. She knows who she likes, right? And so the other night I've got Dynamite on and she's on her phone surfing. And during Punk's promo, she starts looking up. She goes, "Is that a picture of him and MJF?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And I'm like excited that she's excited, right? And Punk cuts that promo because Punk can cut a promo on anyone or anything. And I'm like, "Oh my God," because he's so good. I mean, Jay, this thing I almost don't want him to wrestle because I want this to continue for like 6 months. This is so much fun, but we're going to get the match, dude. I mean, Punk's winning this match, right?
You'd think so, but I've got a theory. I've got a theory that MJF's going to be taking the belt off Hangman. Like I'm sticking to that. I think they could double down on MJF here, have him beat Punk, get the rub from beating Punk twice, and then they've literally got him like ready-made to just go get the belt off Hangman.
Wow.
That being said, it would not surprise me if Punk won.
Ben, does it hurt MJF if he loses? I submit it won't, but what do you think it hurts him at all?
Oh, it's a tough one because MJF losing to Jericho a few months ago made no sense to me. Like I thought that was one of the few occasions where I think AEW booked the wrong guy. MJF, he's kind of, because he doesn't really win like he doesn't really win clean, does he? He always wins by some sort of skullduggery, like some sort of like. But yeah, I think he's the type of guy who can lose to Punk and just brush it off because that's his character. He's got that cocky swagger. He's always got an excuse, hasn't he? He's always got like a backup plan or something. So he could very easily lose because and especially the stip the Punk's put in now, it's designed to be like, right, you can't get away from me. You know, we're going to be dog collared together, and Punk's got all the advantages based on like the way the match has been put together. So I think MJF can take a loss. It depends when they want him to challenge Hangman. I think if you want to bring someone else in first, if you want to bring Kenny back in for a rematch, maybe you sort of cool MJF down a bit with a loss and then bring him back up later in the year because he's always going to be like right there underneath the main event scene.
Does it explain it if Wardlow costs MJF? Maybe if it's just inadvertently costs him the match. I mean, if in some weird way, MJF could always hang his hat on, I wouldn't have lost if not for the big goof over here. I mean, wouldn't that, he's a heel, wouldn't that just get him off the hook and give Punk his win and everything's okay again?
I think you could absolutely sort of hang it on Wardlow because like it's been a fascinating like sort of subplot of this whole. I mean, it's been going for like literally the entirety of AEW as a company, but especially during the Punk feud, like the subplot of Wardlow's like sort of slow face turn. And it's because I mean, even like last week, the MJF promo, his facial expressions were just phenomenal. Wardlow is, you know, the way he sort of like sells the disbelief and like being a bit put out, and he really does. But I mean, and then if Wardlow does end up costing MJF the match, then as a fan, you're wondering, well, was that intentional, or did he just make it look like an accident? And it could add another layer of sort of intrigue to that whole sort of storyline going on, especially if Wardlow wins the Face of the Revolution ladder match. Because obviously, should he win the TNT title, he would theoretically have to give it to MJF.
Very true. Whole other storyline, and it keeps MJF away from the world title for now. So it provides some distance, which is good if it's not the plan right now. Jay, are we looking at a Batista-sized face turn? Or you think can it bull to that point? Because I remember when Batista gave Hunter the thumbs down the ring, and you're home going, oh, like you kind of knew it was going to happen. But they teased maybe it wouldn't. Like it was the best moment ever. Is that going to happen with Wardlow and MJF?
I was literally about to compare it to that, and then you just asked me that. Yeah, I think so. I think the way they could do it, obviously with the TNT title thing, they could have Wardlow win the belt, MJF like try and get him to give him it, and then turn on him. and then that leads to MJF feuding with Wardlow for a bit. Alternatively, they could have Wardlow be the guy that dethrones MJF when he does inevitably win the AEW title. The great thing is, because like we were talking to Troy about it, he's like only really getting into AEW now. So he was like asking us like, why isn't Wardlow a bigger star yet? And we're like, the slow building it, that they've got it bubbling like under the surface while MJF's doing other stuff. And it's great because they've literally got it at the point now where they can just turn the heat up on it and have Wardlow turn on him. And it whenever they do it, it's going to be feeling like the right time to do it.
Yeah. Because, don't pull the trigger too soon. At this point, I don't know if it's too soon. I think 6 months ago would have been too soon. But like now doesn't. They could do it next week or 6 months from now, and it probably still work. So, because the more crap he can have to put up with, the better. Like, I don't know if MJF has made this personal enough yet. I think maybe he needs to make it personal with Wardlow. Maybe I'm not saying put a girlfriend on TV or something like that, but something where it's Wardlow. You got to give this guy a reason to go, all right, I don't care about the money anymore. I've had enough. Like, there's got to be a reason for him to say, well, I don't care about my bank account anymore. So, yeah.
I agree. He's got to take something from Wardlow, like a title or a title opportunity or something that he's earned that MJF just steps in and snatches it away, and then that's the catalyst. Because there needs to be a catalyst now, doesn't it? Like we've had the build, we've had like all the sort of reasons piling up. There just needs to be that trigger point now where he just snaps.
Right, yeah, for sure. Shannon's in agreement. MJF is the next AEW champion. So Shannon knows who her vote's for. So, yeah.
Apologies to Ray, who seems set on the fact that Adam Cole will be the next AEW champion.
Ray he's fascinated with Adam Cole. He's a little bit of a fan. So, yeah.
I think Adam Cole will be an AEW champion at some point.
I do too. He's so good. It's another guy that can talk a streak. Here's another storyline that I can't wait to see where it goes, because Mox, like Punk, I just think that company has the best promo guys in the business, bar none. That's how I feel. I mean, it's if this show were all promos, I think I'd be okay with that. Mox is, once again, he took the mic and owned it, and just like in a freaking tent revival, just brought people to Jesus with that promo. It was so good. And he's like, before I tag with a guy or whatever, I got to bleed with a guy, Oh my God. So we're probably going to get this match, right? But Jay, are we going to see, and if the answer is yes, these guys are going to become a unit, does this mean that Mox has to have a full heel turn, or do they even need to do that?
Funnily enough, I was thinking it was going to go the other way, and they could potentially turn Brian face from it, because the fans seem that they're not going to boo Moxley at the moment, are they? Like, it's just come back from rehab. Everyone's like really inspired by the story of Mox. No matter how hard they try to turn him heel, they're not going to be able to. Right. So I think they could do it the other way. And I know I for one would love to see that faction of like Danielson, Yuta, Moriarty, Garcia, just all together, just tearing people's limbs off. It'd be great. I'd love to see them as a tag team as well.
And oh my God, yes. And being the idea, and it's to Jay's point, Danielson could turn face after this, because part of his pitch is we run through guys, we kill people, violence, smash them up, but then he also let's help guys. So like that's not a heel thing to say. A heel thing to say is we dominate, we take all the gold, we take all the money, the women, the cars. That's not it. It's let's rip people, but let's also help guys. So that could be where the babyface part of this comes in. And I'm so down for this to happen. Neither guy needs a belt necessarily, and this means they don't have to have belts. They can become the top angle on that show and that company. And meanwhile, the champions are doing their things with other top guys. I think this is a win, in my opinion, for both Mox and Danielson.
Yeah, it's interesting that, like, until you just mentioned it then, I didn't realize they didn't really talk about winning titles when they were talking about teaming together. And like you said, like Danielson did, he said, yeah, we're gonna hurt people. We're gonna like cause violence, but then we're also going to elevate these young guys and like teach them. Which, as you say, I think there's a chance that this sort of pulls both of them a little bit towards the middle.
Yeah.
So it could pull Danielson away because they're interesting, aren't they? Because like Danielson's a heel, but like you can't really hate him because he's such a fantastic wrestler.
Oh, he
and
is.
Moxley's a face, but he's a bit violent and a little bit off the cuff, And so neither of them are traditionally face or heel. They sort of exist closer to the middle anyway. But I think this could definitely pull them both into like a more of a tweener sort of direction.
Yeah, for sure. Christopher says AW did a great job turning Bryan heel. The build up to the Mox versus Bryan match, all signs pointed to the opposite. It's a great storyline. I dig it. I hope they actually do tag for a while. Yeah. I just think there's too many really fun stories to be told to not do this. I just think it should be done. I just think it makes the most sense. Scott says Mox also looks really healthy. Oh my God. He's a new man. Good for him. God. If there's no other reason to get your body right and your mind right and yourself right than your kid, there's no better reason. I mean, no disrespect to the ladies out there, but your other half, other people in your life come and go. It doesn't, you know what I mean? So, but your kids should be the catalyst for, all right, that's it. I got to stop messing around. I got to get myself right. So, man, kudos to him that he was able to even do it to begin with, because a lot of people can't. So there you go. And it's just too hard. You know what I mean? Let's see. Chris says Mox Dragon Punk Trios Championship. Oh my God, shut up. I'm going to pass out just thinking about it. Dude, Christopher just got the no prize for the show. That's a thing of beauty. Ben, I'm going to keep covering you up because that's beautiful. Look at that. Oh my God.
Don't worry about it, man. Yeah, that's
wow.
more attractive than my face.
That's, Christopher Freak, man. I love that. God bless. Mox, Dragon, and Punk. Dude, shut up. I mean, and you know what's great, Jay? They have enough talent where that won't take up 2/3 of their card. They could still do that and still have a great show apart from it.
Yeah, we talk about it a lot. We think like that AEW are like in desperate need of a trios championship just because they've got so many like compelling trios. Obviously, they've got Death Triangle. They've got the House of Black about to have a new member join. And then like the Super Click, Jurassic Express, they've got plenty of like teams there. Like they could just literally harbor that whole new division, and as you say, wouldn't even take up 2/3 of the roster.
I love it. And no other major company, because Ring of Honor's not running. No other major company. Well, New Japan has the. Why am I forgetting the name?
The Never Open Weight.
Yeah, but that's it. I mean, yeah, they could do it. Let's see. Keith says, where you at, Keith? AEW knows how to use younger talent. Glad they're doing so. I agree. Let's see. Christopher Ray Patton says, Danhausen now a member of Chaos. Imagine Danhausen Okada. Okadahausen. It's good. I'm sorry. I love Danhausen.
He's the best.
I'm going to rant again. Sorry. But tell me the last original pro wrestling character you've seen in the past 10 years. Danhausen. Tell me anyone that's done the Danhausen's gimmick. No one. Tell me somebody that reminds you of Danhausen. No one. If you can dig up somebody on the indie scene, I'll stand corrected. But in my opinion, I can't think of a soul that I'm like, that Danhausen's ripping that off. I don't see anyone. Am I missing anybody, guys? Because I think this guy is killing it with just the gimmick alone. It's awesome.
Well, he said in an interview. Oh, God.
Okay, so like you said, like you can describe Danhausen to anyone without saying another wrestler's name. Like it's not like, oh, he's like Triple H, or he's like Batista, but it's like, and I'm just gonna grab my my new Danhausen shirt, which came today.
Oh,
I knew it.
That's great.
So yeah, looking forward to putting that on.
Man, got the merch, baby.
Love that Danhausen.
We went down the rabbit hole one night, Jay, my wife and I did talk about the wrestling stuff. She had nothing else to do, and we were vegging out on the couch in front of the TV. We don't do it too often. And Danhausen's YouTube channel, and we went through like 9 videos, and and she starts laughing and stuff. I was like, see, this guy's amazing. Like, he's so good. He's got something that he doesn't have to wrestle. He doesn't necessarily have to cut a promo. He can just kind of be there. How easy is it for this guy to get a payday? And the other boys are looking at him like, God, do you didn't have to bump tonight? You killed it. Like that's a good gimmick right there, Jay.
Yeah, he said there in an interview that it, like, his inspiration that he drew from it was The Simpsons and Conan O'Brien. So not even like wrestling stuff. So and even like you look at like the interviews he does with like Fightful and stuff like that, where they just interview him because they don't know what he's going to say and they just know it's going to be funny.
It's good stuff. I love it. I love it so much. I can't wait to see what happens with that. We've talked about Paige and Cole. We don't have to spend any time on it, but I'll put it up for Ray. This is for you, Ray, all day. Guys, Ben, I'll start with you. Is Adam Cole, baby, taking this belt from Adam Page?
Oh, now. Part of me says a lot. I don't think so. Off the bat, if you ask me, if you put a gun to my head and said Cole or Page, I'd say Page. But the thing about AEW is there's always that like little moment of madness where they could just do it. It could be a Cole takes it off Page and then he fights with Jay White and then Kenny comes back and they fight for the belt. But the way they like to book like I don't think Adam Page is going to have a massively long title reign because faces tend to run a little short, I don't think, because obviously you like the face chasing the heel. It's sort of like the traditional way of the way you book. Mm-hmm. Cole could win. The thing is, Cole could win, and it would be utterly believable, and no one would be upset. I don't think if it happened, and I think that's the real intrigue going into Revolution.
I love that, Jay. What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's big. Obviously, Adam Cole's like the only thing he's got at the moment is that he's undefeated. I think Page getting the first victory over Adam Cole, it kind of like cements him as like a top guy. I think Page needs it more than Cole does at this point. The thing is, whenever Kenny comes back, we know that's going to be the program. Cole's going to be feuding with Kenny. As we said before, possibly feuding with Jay White. He doesn't need the title at this point. He'll get it eventually, but right now he doesn't really need it. Whereas I feel like Page kind of does.
That's yeah. You got me with the last bit. I love Cole a lot. I was there in Chicago at All Out when he debuted. I love this guy, but of the two, I think Page needs the belt, where maybe Cole doesn't. And that's not to say Page can't get over because he was over without it. But I think if you take it off him now, it's maybe doing a disservice to his character. Maybe if not to the guy personally, but at least to his character who fought so hard. I got to throw this up. Double V, Victor Vasquez. Hey, Tom. Hi, guys. Great show. Just had my bangers and mash. So that was in tribute to you gentlemen today. So there you go.
Lovely stuff.
There you go. Kids, we're one like away from the 30. Let's get to 30 today, folks, and beyond. Let's make it happen. As I've told you guys many times before, it puts no money in my pocket, but it sure makes the bosses happy when they say, hey, this Tom guy's pretty good. Let's don't fire him yet because he's doing all right. So there you go. Let's see. Ray says, oh, my God, James Left is a genius. Well, there you go. You got Ray's vote.
Thank you.
Ray and Jay. I'm sensing some camaraderie here. So there you go. Let's talk about AEW Rampage. If you got spoilers, save them or I'll kick you out. There you go. That's not a threat. That's a spoiler. So there you go. Let's go to the Rampage preview. Here's what we know right now. Face the Revolution ladder match, qualifying match. Dante Martin versus Powerhouse Hobbs. Trent Beretta versus Jay White. Adam Cole, the previously aforementioned Adam Cole versus Dark Order's 10. Serena Deeb's 5-minute Ricky challenge. There is your show. I can't wait to see Jay White in an AEW by God ring take on a New Japan rival. Like what bizarre world do we live in where you can get cool stuff like this? Oh, I'm here for it. Is anyone else surprised that Jay's first match isn't taking place on Dynamite? Is that done by design, you think, Ben?
I think so. I think it shows how much faith they have in Rampage as a show as well. That they're willing to put big matches on there. Don't forget, Punk made his debut on Rampage.
Good call.
As did
Hook. Yeah, they're not averse to putting big moments on Rampage, and it feels like a real nice reward for Trent as well because he's been on a tear since he's been back. Like his matches have been off the chain.
Yeah,
like he's come back like a man possessed.
Kids, I kind of neglected to do this, and Jay, we didn't talk about this beforehand. Ben has not experienced the buttons yet. So, Ben,
He hasn't.
you're about to experience some buttons. Ray, this is for you, my friend. There you go.
Good
I
stuff.
got a bunch. I got a pocket full of buttons. That makes no sense. I got a control board full of buttons. I'm going to stop while I'm behind. I got buttons. That's all you need. So yeah, I got a new button this week too, and I should have played it. We've already talked about John Moxley. Who wants to hear the John Moxley button? Show of hands. Who wants to see the John? Yeah.
Oh yeah.
All right. But this takes like an hour. But here we go. Ready? Here we go. Yeah, that took an hour. There you go. I'll probably get the feed kicked off because of the song.
I'm convinced they hired Justin Gabriel partly. Justin Gabriel?
Justin Roberts.
Justin Roberts. Sorry, wrong. Justin. Sorry. I do pay attention sometimes. I'm convinced they hired Justin Roberts just because of how well he can say John Moxley. Partly, at least partly.
So good. Because that was the John Cena introduction for Justin Roberts.
Yeah, he's got a good John in him, hasn't he? That's like,
Yes.
That's important.
I love it. Yeah, I had to get a clear audio of that. It was very cool. Real quick ratings, kids, and we'll move on to the other company and other stuff. This week, Dynamite, 869, down big time from 1.13. Tonight's Rampage, we don't know, but last week was 549. Jay, any truth to the gossip and innuendo and subtle online nonsense that Cody's the reason why the ratings tanked? Do you think there's any connection at all? People are like, Cody's not on the show, I'm not watching it. Anything, any chance at all?
Did you see the tweet that he responded to? A guy said like he didn't want to watch AEW without Cody.
Yes.
And he replied saying like, please still support them. Like they're a really good company. Like good on him for like not like trashing them like he did WWE when he left.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I don't know if I believe that the two are connected, but judging by that tweet, maybe they are. That's it's kind of surprising. Let's talk about some news, kids. We're gonna switch channels here. It just broke within the last 2 to 3 hours. Undertaker is official for the WWE Hall of Fame. Ben, this was not this was a spoiler, not a spoiler. This is a freaking guarantee. Fact of life for years and years and years. From the first time this guy got over and beyond, first world title win and beyond. I mean, this guy is a lock. Undertaker Hall of Fame. I mean, obviously he's going to headline this thing as he should. What's your thoughts on the dead man getting the Hall of Fame nod this year?
I mean, yeah, it was always a case of when, not if. It was absolutely going to happen. I suppose the sort of the intrigue now is who's going to induct him. Is going to be the big sort of. I just wish it would have happened while Paul Bearer was still with us and we could have seen it.
Yeah.
That would have been real nice.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I mean, this is the easiest home run you're ever going to hit for the Hall of Fame, isn't it? The guy's done everything. So.
Yeah, and I like the baseball metaphor. It's like saying Babe Ruth's not in the Hall of Fame. Of course he is. You know what I mean? So. What do you got, Jay?
Yeah, it was a given, wasn't it? It's in Texas. I think Kane's probably going to induct him. It makes the most sense. He inducted Kane. Kane inducted him. The only other person I could really see possibly inducting him would be. Oh yeah, Foley's a good shot. I didn't think of that. I was going to say Shawn Michaels. Because they're kind of like intertwined, aren't they, throughout the career?
Yeah.
Or Austin.
No brother love, no.
God, no. No, thank you.
No. No. I've had my fill of that guy for sure. Yeah. I no chance he shows up in full gear and says, "Thank you for the honor of the." No chance, right? He's going to show up with a do-rag and a suit, and he's going to thank.
We'll get Boneyard Taker.
Oh, that works. I was going to say he's going to show up in a suit and thank God and Jesus a whole bunch. And I'm no disrespect. Everyone calm down. It's just a joke. We're going to get, casual Undertaker here, aren't we? Don't you think?
Yeah.
Ben?
If we probably will, and it'll be interesting because I know he's now done like out of character stuff, which he never used to do. But this would still be the first time we'd see him in an arena, not as the Undertaker. which is it's going to be real weird for a lot of people.
Yeah. Yeah, no kidding. Usually a big venue and a lot of people there and fans, and we'll see. But yeah, kudos to him, man. Hats off to him. The guy's more than earned it. And again, folks, we've said the Hall of Fame is important, and there's many different ways to view a Hall of Fame. No one's voting on this. It's basically one guy's call. However, ask the men and women who are actually in the Hall of Fame if any of that matters to them, and most of them will tell you no, because it's not really about whether or not Vince wanted them there. Maybe it is, but it's also about being able to stay on the stage and have fans recognize them and a company recognize them when they didn't have to. So for that intent alone, I'm sure, yes, it's worth it. If anyone's asking what I think, yes, it's worth it. And as you guys said, if not Taker, then who? Like, dude, come on, it's got to be Taker. Here we go, folks. Just when you thought for 19 years you slept on the Texas Rattlesnake and you said, well, he's done, Tom. He's done. He's not coming back, Tom. This is never going to happen.
What?
Stone Cold Steve Austin.
What?
For 19 you see it's a pattern. For 19 freaking years.
What?
Is staying home.
What?
Drinking beer.
What?
In his cowboy boots.
What?
And now he's coming back.
What?
I'm on the record, gentlemen. I love Austin to death. Jay, do you need to see Stone Cold Steve Austin in 2022?
No. I like the fact that he stayed retired. Like we always wind up Aaron, who we do the podcast with, about Shawn Michaels coming out of retirement. And it's weird, isn't it? Because he had like such a perfect send off. He had that awesome match with The Rock at 19. And it was like the perfect send off. I don't need to see him wrestle again. If he does an angle, I'm fine with that. I don't really want to see him. I don't want to see him have a match. Not because I don't think he can go still, because I think he looks in great shape. He'll be fine. I just don't want the chance of it tarnishing his legacy.
I love how that answer, you tried your best to be respectful and you're stumbling over your words. And I can so tell you're like, I don't want to say the wrong. I like, because you're conflicted. It's so conflicting because I love the guy, but like, Ben, I see where Jay's coming from. I don't know. Ben, maybe everyone's wrong, including me, and he'll come in there and like, oh my God, he looks 20 again. I don't know, but what do you think?
I'm sure the guy's in great shape. But he's pushing 60. Like his knees were made of crackers like 19 years ago.
Yes.
I just hope he's coming back for the right reasons, because he's got something he wants to do. And he feels like he's got some unfinished business. Because I know he did kind of he left quite abruptly, didn't he? He sort of just took his ball and went home. And that was the last time we ever really saw him, like with the Brock Lesnar thing. You asked me now, in the cold light of day, do I want to see Stone Cold wrestle at WrestleMania? Probably not. But when it gets to like 2:30 in the morning, like UK time, and his music hits, and I've had a few beers, I'm probably going to be bouncing off the walls. I'm not going to lie to you.
I like how you put all those quantifiers on your answer. Like, now listen, if this and all the stars line up, I'm your guy. I'm in the front row. Yeah, that's
and as an extra, me and Jay and my business partner Neil, we finally got hold of a can of his IPA that he makes with El Segundo.
There you go.
So we'll probably drink that on WrestleMania night when Austin comes out. I think would be the perfect time to crack that up.
You can't sip it. You got to do this, and you got to pour it all over yourself, and then flip off everyone that comes in the room, and they're gonna be like, call the police. These guys have lost their mind.
Don't know about that. We've only got one can.
Well, you pour some in a glass, and just improvise, make it happen.
Yeah,
got to get in the spirit.
We could smash 2 shot glasses together with little bits of beer in.
That works. Flavor. Just don't get cut. It's no personal injury here. Sugar Shane says Stone Cold could be the host at Mania, and KO could come out and downgrade Texas, and Stone Cold stuns him. I'd be okay with it, but that's not him coming back. That's him. If that leads to something, sure. You guys know we love the ladies here on the main event. We love the female pro wrestling crowd. Tina Miller from Peaches and Power Bombs. What's up, Tina? How are you today? Everyone go check out the Peaches and Power Bombs podcast. So there you go.
That was an Eddie Kingston shirt on the profile pic as well. So big respect for that.
Very good stuff. Tina, you've missed a heck of a show. Shame on you. Sorry. So yeah, we'll see what happens with the Stone Cold thing. I love it. I love it in terms of it being him. It should have happened 15 years ago, probably. Should it happen at all? Maybe not. I kind of agree with both of you guys at the same time. I'm mixed on it. The fans seem to be perfectly fine with it, but with nerds like us, we tend to overthink everything. You know what I mean? We can't just say white is black or white is white and black is black. We have to say that's black, but what shade of black is it? That's kind of how we roll. If you can't figure that out. It's time to get into it. The show of the year, Elimination Chamber, tomorrow from Saudi Arabia. Now, Jay, I want you to sell this to me, why this is going to be the biggest show of the year. You can't wait. You're amped up. You got your beverages ready. You got your snacks. You have Cheetos over there. You should.
do.
Oh, you got Cheetos. You got Cool Ranch Doritos. Everyone's got that. You know what I mean? So you got and all that, and you've got your couch, and the volume's up. Yes! Tell me why you're pumped up, and this is going to be awesome.
Well, for me, I'll be watching it with Troy, so that'll be quite fun. Because I'll just be winding him up like I was at the Royal Rumble. I honestly, I don't even know the full card. I'll be honest with you. I've not been paying attention to WWE at all this week. What's happening at the show?
Okay, here we go.
Other than the Elimination Chambers.
Well, yeah, you got the Elimination WWE Championship, Elimination Chamber, Universal Champion Roman Reigns versus Goldberg, Raw Women's Champion Becky Lynch versus Lita. Yeah, Ronda Rousey and Naomi versus SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley versus Bianca Belair and Doudrop versus Nikki Ash versus Alexa Bliss. Winner earns an opportunity at the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Usos versus the Viking Raiders. You two gentlemen. Drew McIntyre versus Madcap Moss. Falls Count Anywhere match. And Rey Mysterio versus The Miz. So, yeah. It's
not terrible.
But I can see
on paper.
Your excitement's rising. I can sense it.
I'll be honest. I'll probably be drunk by the time we're watching it, so it'll be fine.
You'll be okay with it.
And also, it's at a reasonable time over here. It's like 5 PM, so it's great.
There you go. Yeah. For me, it's like 4 AM or something. I don't know what it is. I don't know.
I think it's 11 AM.
That makes sense.
Sure.
Ben, Jay didn't deliver on his anticipation, his excitement, but I know I can count on you as being new to the show here, that you are amped up and can't wait for Blood Money to rain down like that. Okada, baby, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Dude, hit me. What do you think?
So when Goldberg looks like he's got Roman beat and the crowd's holding its collective breath. I mean, they don't make a lot of noise anyway at these shows, but and it's the tension in the arena is palpable. All of a sudden, rising up at the middle of the stage comes Cody Rhodes. They put the little AR neck tattoo graphic up all over the arena on the TV, so we can all see it. And Cody comes down, crossroads Goldberg, middle of the ring, puts Roman over him. The place explodes. Like, I mean, what more can you want?
Cody Bucks falling from the ceiling.
Cody Bucks. Oh, it's good stuff. Would they go this far? I mean, you talk about, hey pal, you want to come over and get a butt ton of money and we'll do this for you. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. You know what I mean? This would be amazing. Would they go this far?
It depends how desperate they are, doesn't it? I mean, what if they? Because I think the Rumble really shocked them. Like the reaction to the Royal Rumble really hurt them. Like from a sort of creative point. And I think when WWE, I mean, we've always seen it when they're backed into a corner. That's when they actually try, and they try. They bust out the big guns, don't they? So
I love the way you put that. So they actually try. That's great. That's good. I've made my feelings known on the Saudi Arabia thing for a long time. Remember the first year they did it, and you had all the couches and like love seats, like in the first 2 rows of all the rich guys and their rich kids. And I'm like, if you don't know that this aesthetic doesn't look good, if you don't know how this looks, and I'm not saying anyone's bad people, I'm not even trying to suggest it, but you have to know it's like the commoners can sit up there, but the rich people are here. And I'm just like, this doesn't look good, guys. But like, and like you said, that through the show, they're talking to each other. They're up walking around. I'm like, did none of you want to watch the wrestling that you all claimed that you wanted to see so bad you couldn't stand it? Like, I don't know. It feels weird. And it's nothing against the people of that country. It's the government that I have an issue with. I mean, it's yikes. Jay, we don't have to get too political here, but I mean, is this always going to have asterisk by it no matter what event they put there? I mean, because of what they're doing?
I think so, yeah. I think the thing that really kind of like left a bad taste in people's mouth was when there was like the calls from to cancel Crown Jewel, and it was like in the wake of the Jamal Khashoggi murder, and then they just went ahead and did it anyway. It's just weird, isn't it? It never, until like the last maybe 2 shows, it's never felt like anything's canon. It felt like just kind of like this like weird like sort of like Marvel What If almost of WWE. But now obviously like they're doing Elimination Chamber there. That's like the big pay-per-view they do before Mania. This is all canon. Like they've obviously changed the like title a few times there, haven't they? I know the Fiend won and lost the Universal title in Saudi Arabia. It's always just odd, isn't it? Like the atmosphere is weird. And it feels like a big occasion. It does. Like they to be fair to them, they put all the bells and whistles on it. They roll out all the big stars. They always say it's a WrestleMania-like event. It just doesn't really sit well with me though. At the same time,
yeah, it's just gotta. It's kind of like I watch this show and I feel like I gotta take a shower, kind of thing. It just feels. But it's like, what percentage of their income is it for the year? It's a massive percentage of their profit for the year. I forget the number. It's huge.
It's one Cody Rhodes paycheck.
Oh, that's classic. I love it. Give that man a flower. That's good stuff. Shannon, you wanted the button. You got the button. The hottest button in the land.
Hot garbage.
There you go, baby. I haven't hit it all this episode.
I know.
There you go. So, yeah. I've made no secrets about how I feel about the Saudi Arabia stuff. It just seems tone deaf to me. And an unrelated but related, because I haven't really talked about him here much on the show since all this has been happening. Mustafa Ali has dug his heels in, and he ain't playing. He's legit like, I'm done. I'm over it. Do what you want. I don't care. Sit me down. I don't care. I'm over it. I'm done. Like, this does not have a good ending for him with that company, right? Someone's either going to go to court or they're just going to quietly tap out and give him what he wants and he's out. I mean, Ben, how does this end for Mustafa Ali and WWE?
I mean, are they just going to pay him for 2.5 years to sit there and do nothing? Can you justify spending $5 million a year on Cody Rhodes and tell Mustafa Ali that you're not going to release him?
Right.
Like, how did they square this circle? Like, how do you justify? Is it a coincidence that I don't want to go into murky issues. Is it a coincidence that like if you're a white guy and you ask your release in WWE, you get your release? Like Scotty 2 Hotty, like Brian Kendrick, Why Ali? Why is Ali the sticking point? Why is this the one they won't do?
Why is it? And again, I'm with you, not to get all like that, but why did Brock squash Kofi in 6 seconds? Of all the people he could have pinned in the match to win the title, why did it have to be Big E? Why is there a pattern here all the time? I'm just saying there seems to be a pattern of weird stuff that just kind of feels like you're got an itch and it's like, why does this feel weird? I mean, I get where you're coming from. You can't make the guy, you can threaten, you can do whatever. You can't physically make the guy leave his house, catch a plane and go to a show. You can threaten anything. If he's good, and his family's good, that you can't make anyone do anything. So, Jay, why not just let the guy out? As Ben said, just let him have what he wants.
He should just start a Twitch channel and then they'll fire him.
Very good.
They did the same thing with Pac, didn't they? Like, and they did it with Brody. Whenever anyone like publicly says, I want to leave the company, they kind of try and make an example of them, don't they? And go, well, you're not leaving. It's mad. Like I don't get legally how they're allowed to do it either, because like any other job you can just hand your notice in and you like work your 2 weeks or whatever, and then you go to like the next one. So why is it such a sticking point for WWE to like let him just go?
This is a far different situation, but I've written for websites where I have to sign a contract as an independent contractor, and the contract says they can leave anytime they want to, and so can I, and they don't owe me anything. Now, I'm not saying that's on par with a $1 billion company, but you would think that they could do whatever they want and they could at any time. But I think, Jay, you're onto something, that it's in their minds. I'm sorry, in the one guy's mind, it sets a bad precedent, because if they do it for him, well, they didn't do it for FTR. They didn't do it for countless other guys who said, please let me the freak out of here. So, I mean, like, maybe that's what they're thinking. We can't, because if we do, we got to do it for everybody. Is that what we're talking about here?
Well, the thing is as well, like, they've already set the precedent of like letting so many people go because of budget cuts. So why keep one guy on the contract that doesn't want to be there when those people who wanted to be there, who wanted to keep the job, and they've just gone, nah, see you later.
Yeah, no kidding. Good, excellent point. I wanted to touch on this before we did the SmackDown preview and then took it home. We can go back and reflect on the Cody stuff if you want to, and we know just a little bit about WrestleMania. So far, we've got Reigns and Lesnar for the WWE Universal Championship. We got Charlotte and Rousey for the WWE SmackDown Women's Title, and Becky Lynch versus whoever for the WWE Raw Women's Title. How does Cody impact this card? What other matches do you two guys foresee possibly happening? What would you like to see happen at WrestleMania this year? I mean, Ben, do you have anything that they haven't announced that you feel like will happen or that you'd like to see?
I mean, Cody's the wild card. Like, I don't see where he fits in on this card. Like, I mean, the match I would want, if you're going to put Cody in a match, would be Cody versus Triple H. But they're not going to let Hunter wrestle with his, he's just had a heart surgery, isn't he? And he's not going to be lacing them up in a couple of weeks' time. I mean, someone just said in the comments, Bailey return. I mean, I'd like a bit of that if she's surely knocking on the door of being ready to go. I honestly, I don't know what Cody does if he's in this, because like it seems like if he's coming in hot and they want him in a big angle, but it seems like all the top of the cards are locked up. So again, you tell everyone for like a year and a half that the only people who in the company who matter are Brock and Roman, and then you make them fight each other at Mania. It doesn't leave a lot of room for anyone else at the top of the card.
And I guess we're going to get Owens and Austin, Jay, right? Isn't that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, probably. There was talk of Owens versus Seth at one point as well, wasn't there? Even though that's another match they've done at Mania like once already.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if maybe Rollins versus Cody. Seems like a logical kind of choice.
That's fun.
There's been a lot of talk. Like I know Meltzer's been saying that they don't have any idea what they're going to do with the WWE Championship match yet. There's talk of like unifying the belts, putting it on Brock. Logical thing would be to have whoever wins the Elimination Chamber just wrestle Cody, and then you've got another main event there. Do I want to see that? Not particularly, but
right.
It's the only thing really that could make some sense.
Victor Vasquez is calling for AJ versus Edge at WrestleMania. Boy, that would be fun.
I'd like that.
I'd have a bit of that.
Yeah. AJ's in a weird, in my opinion, a weird place. Like he's not in title contention, and he's not on his way out. He's not hanging it up, but he's not really. I don't know. I don't know. You've got not an AJ Styles, but you've got the AJ Styles in your locker room, and he's kind of not doing a lot. And you saddled him up with a tag team guy who can't work, and he's just tall. And I'm like, ugh, and I don't know. It just feels like they did so much for him. And then they pulled a Sheamus on him where they're like, hey, Sheamus, ha, nope. And they just, floated him back down again. I mean, it just feels like that for me with AJ. I mean, why is AJ not getting anything happening here, Ben? What do you think?
It's such a weird one. So he just re-signed, didn't he? He just signed a new deal, like in the last couple of weeks. He was my pick to win the Royal Rumble. I thought that would have been. It's the only thing he's not done in WWE. He debuted at the Rumble 6 years ago, so it would have been a nice sort of full circle because he's getting. I think this will be his last like full-time in-ring contract. They're going to obviously push him towards that sort of spot Chris Jericho was in a few years ago, where he was just like the star maker. Because he can still put on a great match with pretty much anyone. I mean, he carried Amos to a tag team reign, didn't he? So,
Yeah. That's why you guys tune into my show's Intelligent Pro Wrestling Conversation. I love that take. It makes sense.
But he's just like you say, he's just kind of there, isn't he? And like having an AJ Styles when you've maybe got 3 years of him left at the top of his game, you've got to be doing something with him. You've got to be using him while you've got him.
I mean, in my opinion, if he hadn't signed this contract and you had a third possible company, you get AJ Styles and pay him whatever he wants if you had the bankroll. Because, wow, I mean, do you build a future 20-year company around him? No. But, man, to spark immediate interest, holy God, like that would have done it. Yeah, I don't know. Again, I'm just sitting back looking at this thinking I don't understand what we're doing here. But I do that a lot with some of these guys. But that's what happens. And I guess to be fair on in another conversation, people are doing that with AEW. Like, how do you have these guys in the locker room and you seems like you're not doing much with them? I kind of get the conversation. And I think as fans, maybe we're all just sort of, if I say we all have their best interests at heart, maybe that sounds too, too simple of a platitude or whatever, but maybe it's that we generally love this stuff and we want to see these guys do their best and everything and get what they deserve. So when people, in our opinions, don't get what they deserve, it feels like they're getting cheated. You know what I mean? And I've often said on the show, there's our perspective and there's theirs. And sometimes they match and sometimes they're completely far apart. And, it just depends.
And it depends on the individual as well, because like some wrestlers, especially younger guys, they just want to go every week, don't they? And they want to wrestle and wrestle and wrestle and wrestle. And then you've got other guys who are like, well, maybe I'm getting paid to just sit here and, in catering and watch the wrestling. I've got job security. I'm looking after my family. Maybe that's the most important thing. And don't forget as well, in AEW, they can still book outside dates. So
Very
FTR,
true.
if they're not on TV every week, but they wrestled midnight, they wrestled the Rock and Roll Express the other week in a dream match, and they had a great time. And you've got like people, guys in AEW working PWG every month and stuff like that. And people, they're still able to fulfill themselves creatively, even if they're not featuring on Dynamite every week. And
they have freedom. That's a big thing. Yeah, I totally agree with that. And like you said, you're 100% right. It depends on who we're talking about. Like I've interviewed wrestlers who were like, when the title was important to me, it showed me the company, put value on my name, and it gave me responsibility. Then I interviewed Rob Van Dam, and RVD says, I didn't really care about titles. Didn't really mean much. I'm like, okay. So then I hit him with, was there anyone that you'd like to face? Let's say if you had your choice of a guy today that you hadn't worked. Now I don't really think about stuff like that. I mean, he kind of dismissed all this fan-centric stuff that we all debate all the time, and he was cool about it, but he just kind of dissed all of it and was like, nah, I don't really care about any of that. To RVD, this is just a business, and I respect where he's coming from. He put his life on the line like everyone else does when they step through the ropes. It's his take. So, yeah, you're right. Not everyone views it the exact same way. So, Jay, does this WrestleMania card have the potential to be one of the biggest cards in years, or does it also have the potential to be this is all they did?
I think the latter at the moment. It does feel like they've got no real direction. Obviously, we're gonna have a bit more of an idea of what the card's going to be come like tomorrow when Elimination Chamber happens. But like it really doesn't feel like there's much kind of plan in place. And I know I've seen that Riddle versus Orton's been kind of like thrown around a bit. And they were talking about potentially putting the title on one of them and making it a WWE title match. So that could be interesting. To go back to it, the only real like kind of like sort of wild card is Cody, isn't it?
Yeah, I agree.
Like,
yeah,
they're saying there's going to be another Austin level surprise. Now, I don't really know who that could be. Possibly The Rock, but I doubt it. They would have probably put a bit more fanfare in The Rock coming back to WrestleMania by now.
And I was talking to Phil last night during the 6M before and after, and he made a great point. We were all talking about Austin until the news of Cody hit, and then we all quit talking about Austin. I'm like, great point. Like, wow, you know what I mean? Wouldn't it be hilarious if Cody's been at home this whole time looking at Brandy going, they think I'm going back. This is awesome. Wouldn't it be great if like it didn't happen? Like if he's got an entirely different plan that no one knows about, but that when it happens, we go, oh my God, this is brilliant. I'm kind of going that direction in my head. I'm fantasy booking it all.
I'd find that quite funny, to be fair. I would find that quite funny. He has been spotted in an airport in Poland, apparently, though. So that would be the layover before going to Saudi Arabia.
Wouldn't it be great if there was like a Cody app? Like we got to find Cody. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
Just the neck tattoo, just like the bat signal on the sky.
Yeah, we got to tag that guy so we can follow him all over the world. You know. SmackDown preview, kids. Before we open the floor up here, let's see. Tonight, Universal Champion Roman Reigns comes face to face with Goldberg. Shinsuke Nakamura looks to retain the Intercontinental title against Sami Zayn. And Ronda Rousey versus Naomi. I'm sorry, Ronda Rousey tried again. Naomi meets Charlotte Flair and Sonya Deville in the ring for WWE Elimination Chamber contract signing. WWE has already let out of the bag what happened on the card, like they told everybody on their social media with the Sami Zayn and Nakamura thing, which is weird. But they've already let the cat out of the bag. So I don't know if I want to spoil it for anybody that doesn't know. So anyway, there's your pre-taped SmackDown preview, kids. You can watch it and love it, or you can watch it and hate it, or you can choose not to watch it at all. It's entirely up to you. This week, Raw, 1.6 million, way up from 1.38 last week. NXT, 525, up from last week, 400. SmackDown, yet to be determined last week, 2.2 million. There's your ratings. As we always say, kids, it's up to you whether or not you care about them. The floor is officially open, and gentlemen, this is where things can get fun because they're going to ask you all kinds of stuff. Ray's going to hit me with a question that involves a hip-hop artist and which one I would choose, and then Adam Cole's going to be a part of the equation, and everyone in the chat's like, I can't wait for Ray's question. So there you go. The floor is open, kids. What do you got for me and my guess, or just the guess, whatever you guys want to do? Christopher says, when are we going to get them boys? I can't say it without doing Jay's voice. Them boys from Sandy Fork, Delaware versus FTR. I can't wait for this match because I freaking love the Briscoes with everything I have in me. And they can't wait either. Like, Ben, what's the holdup, man? Why is this not happening right now?
I honestly don't know. I thought for sure it was going to be FTR at the GCW show. I thought it was good. I think it's probably going to be Supercard of Honor now.
Yeah,
it looks like the place should put it. For some reason, AEW seem like they just don't want to do it on an AEW show.
Yeah, dude, good call. Maybe that's it. Jay, you think he's right?
Yeah, the Ring of Honor announced today the Briscoes versus mystery opponents at Supercard of Honor. It's got to be FTR. They did the angle at the last Ring of Honor show, didn't they? So that has to be FTR. It's got to be.
Good stuff. Double V, Victor Vasquez says, congrats to Johnny and Candice on the birth of their baby boy. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's awesome. Good
absolutely. Mark says, why does WWE treat the Intercontinental title like the 24/7 title?
Well, this was when we were talking about AJ Styles before, if they hadn't spent like the last however many years destroying the IC title's credibility, that would be the perfect title for AJ, the workhorse title. You could just defend it like Cena did with the US title a couple of years ago. You could just defend it every week against up-and-coming guys, put on banger matches, and it'd be a perfect little showcase for AJ to have his little spot on the card. But nope, they've already ruined that. So
yeah, jeez. Jay, is that is he spot on, as they say? What do you think?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Like when the Miz was the champion, which feels like a lifetime ago now. He really brought back like credibility to the belt. Even Rollins did as well. When both of them were feuding with Ziggler. And then I feel as soon as they rebranded the belt, they stopped caring about it a little bit. We had that really good ladder match with Sammy, AJ, and Jeff, and that seems like the last time it really mattered. Hopefully, Sami Zayn gets to do something with it. I don't like the idea that they're going to have him defend it against Johnny Knoxville at Mania. That upsets me. But yeah, it's weird whenever they give Shinsuke a belt, they just kind of forget about it, a bit like they do with Shinsuke in general. But who knows?
And the story on Nakamura since he got there has been he's happy, his family's happy, he's making more money than he ever made in New Japan. He may or may not have a massive title run left in him in Japan again. Leave him alone. Let him be happy. Let him earn his money. I am 100% on board with that. However, there's two sides of this. There's the side that's their side, and there's our side where we're sitting back going, I want Nakamura in dream matches. I want him a top guy. I want him to be the king of strong style. I want him to be a heel and kill everybody. And like, we're not going to get that. So, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I think?
Doesn't matter what you think.
That's so much fun. Oh my God. I told you Ray would have a good one. Ghostface Killer or Redman. And if Adam Cole picked you and your family up in a limo to go to a basketball game and he had one extra ticket, can I have one? And after a round of ping pong, could I play? My God, there's a lot going on in that question. I'll go with Ghostface Killer for sure. Yes, you could have the ticket, and yes, you could play after the ping pong. Yes, man. See, this guy, talk about a writer. He put some thought and effort into this. More than most of the WWE storylines. Cha-cha! There we go. Had to throw that in. So, Sandy is wishing Shannon a happy birthday. Shannon, my apologies for not realizing that. Happy birthday, Shannon.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday.
There you go. What else we got here, kids? Let's see. Christopher says I need a Dim Boys button. Oh, yeah. Are you kidding? I need to. Let's see. Shane says, Tom, ask your guests how they discover. Well, Shane, you just ask them. How did your guests discover wrestling, and who was their favorite growing up? Jay, let's start with you.
My cousin was still is a huge wrestling fan. So I literally just from going around to his house one time, just watched it with him, got hooked. As for my favorites, Undertaker, big one. British Bulldog, another one I loved. Who else? Oh, and Macho Man.
Good choices. Ben, what about you?
I just started watching in '99 because everybody in the world was watching wrestling at that point. It was the year I started high school. So if you wanted to talk to anyone about anything, you had to be up on wrestling because it was all anyone was talking about. So I just got into it. SummerSlam '99 was my first show. The Triple Threat, Mankind, Austin, Triple H with Jesse the Body as Special Enforcer.
Nice.
And yeah, I just I only really watched until 2002, and then sort of fell off until about 2009. And favorite growing up was probably Kane, just because he just looked back then he just looked awesome, didn't he?
Oh yeah, Kane at his best when he was the most ripped with that hair. Oh my God, it was awesome.
When he had like the sleeve, the suit with like the one sleeve not on, and like he just looked, he was huge, like he was fantastic.
Classic. Mark says, where we go? Any updates on who Austin Theory faces at Mania? Cody Rhodes. There you go. Until we know more. Anybody?
It's a swerve. It's going to be Shane in a custody of Vince McMahon ladder match.
Oh, it's good.
Head of the first.
Vince's love on a pole.
Oh.
and Theory wins.
We'll leave it up to you what they're going to hang up there because we don't know. And I'm not venturing a guess. So there you go. Let's see. Jumpin' Jeff Sharma says, I feel upset they don't do anything with women's tag team titles. Remember how excited we all were when those things were created and Sasha and Bailey, and we're like, oh my God, this is the best thing they've done in years. Oh my God. And now it's like, yeah. You know what I mean? I don't get it.
I lost my mind when the Iconics won them at Mania. I was so excited, and then they did nothing with them.
Nothing. Is anyone following the Inspiration in TNA, by the way, or in Impact?
Yeah, I've been keeping an eye on them. I've been keeping an eye. They've been basically doing what they should have been doing in WWE with the tag titles.
There you go. Let's see. Sandy says, say hi to the boy. You know I will, Sandy. I tell him every week. Wait, Ray's asking a question. Ray, I see. Ray wants you guys to answer his question. God bless it, Ray. Let me go find the thing. The book of a question. Here we go. Ghostface or Redman. And if Adam Cole picked you and your family up in a limo to go to a basketball game and he had one extra ticket, can I have it? And after a round of ping pong, could I play? Yikes. Originality points. Ben, this is all you, dude.
So yeah, I'll go Ghostface. I think he just got that delivery. No one else goes like Ghostface, do they? Like he's so unique.
Yes.
As much as I would love, I mean, I don't really know much about basketball. It's like the one US sport I really don't follow. So yeah, Ray can have the ticket. As much as I'd love to go to a game with Adam Cole, I think he'd enjoy it more, and he can absolutely play ping pong. Yeah, why not?
Oh, there you go, Jay. I'm guessing it's all the. Are you similar on your answers? All right, cool.
Yeah, Redman for me though.
Oh well, changing it up. He is hilarious. I'll give him that.
He's my go-to character on Def Jam Vendetta as well.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
One more, kids. Give me a good one. We're gonna take it home because we got a life to get back to. What time is it? Holy God, we've been on here for like 3 days, man. But it's been fun. Let's see. Give me a good one, folks. Shane says, "What are your thoughts on the halftime Super Bowl show?" I love that the guys did their vocals. I hate that she didn't. I thought that was kind of weird because it seemed like she didn't. But I loved it. I'm an old school guy, and I don't know. I love when hip hop and rap was. I could understand it for one thing. For a second, there was a point to it, and it's just not like my kid's really into modern hip hop, and he'll listen. I'll try to get him like he does like Wu-Tang, all right. But like I try to get him to listen to this and older stuff, he'll just dismiss it. But then meanwhile, I hear his stuff. And no kidding, one act sounds like the one before it. And I'm like, am I old now? Is the gray real? Or is it just that they legit it's the same beat, it's the same cadence, it's the same delivery. I can't get into the modern stuff, man. Hey, listen, make your money and have a career, man. Do the work. I'll props to them, but I just can't. I can't get into it, man. Am I the only one?
Yeah, I'm not into that kind of like new music, new rap. However, love Dre. I was very, very happy to see Dre at the halftime show.
If you've not checked out Mammoth, Wolfgang Van Halen's project, dude, if you're a rock guy at all, I started binging that album that he put it out in 2021. It's really good, actually. So any rock guys here, man, that's your album. All right, I said that was it, but let's do one more and we'll get out of here. One more, kids. For God's sake, the next one that pops up is the one. Ben's like, I'm never going to get out of here. I'm not doing the halftime show again. Give me a break here, guys. Come on. Give me something good.
To be fair, I could do this all day. This has been real good fun. And
awesome.
Me and Jay were texting during the halftime show as well, and we both said like we could watch another hour of that halftime show.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I enjoyed it.
Danger. It was weird seeing Snoop do like PG lyrics, but apart from that,
yeah, he had to clean it up. And there was, did you see the screenshot of him getting high before, like smoking before he went on?
Yeah, I mean, you book Snoop Dogg for a show. I mean, you're bringing it on yourself there, really, on you.
I think part of his booking fee is you get him a bag, right? Isn't that how it works? I mean,
yeah.
I mean, people are like, I can't believe. Shut up! It's freaking Snoop Dogg.
If Snoop Dogg didn't smoke a joint before he went on stage, I think I'd be a little bit disappointed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Keith will end with this: Rhodes versus Rollins at Mania. Yes, it's booked. There you go.
Yeah.
Until we know more.
That seems it.
You heard it.
I mean,
first.
for all I
It's
know,
happening.
it's Ben versus Cody at Mania. I don't freaking know right now.
I hope if it is Rhodes versus Rollins, Rollins comes out dressed as Stardust. I just love it. Or at least in polka dots.
Oh, I sent out a tweet the day the news broke, and I said, as long as they don't put him in polka dots. And that got over pretty well. So, yeah, don't get me started. That's a whole other conversation. All right, kids, there's your show, episode 261 in the can. So we hope you guys enjoyed yourselves today. please be sure to tip your waitress. Thanks for playing. So, folks, before we get out of here, we're going to allow the gentleman before you to plug their stuff because we're all about the branding here. If you don't know anything about my show, you've not been watching or paying attention very much. Ben, we'll start with you. Plug some stuff for us, my friend.
Right, I'll let Jay do the podcast. I'm just going to plug. So I'm guessing not many people here are in the UK, but if you happen to find yourself in the UK, in the Northwest, come and see us, Top Rope Brewing. We do wrestling-themed beers. We have a real good time with that. www.topropebrewing.com. If you want to check us out online, you can buy some merch. We ship that to the US, but you can't ship beer, so don't buy no beer because we'll have to refund you. Yeah, check us out. Just come and say hello, hang out on our social media. Jay, do you want to do all the podcast bits?
Yes, so we are the Untitled Wrestling Podcast. We are all our podcasts are wherever you find your podcasts, Spotify, Apple Music, etc., etc. You can find us on Twitter at Untitled Wrestpod. Twitch, we do a bit of streaming at Untitled Wrestpod. Facebook, YouTube, and Discord, Untitled Wrestling Podcast. We've got a really cool community on the Discord. Everyone's welcome. We try and get people like playing video games with us and just generally talking wrestling. We've got a pets channel on there. We do food and drink stuff. I usually talk about meal deals I get from work, stuff like that. Excuse me. And as Troy said earlier, we've got a merch store, which I don't know the link to, on the 1st of March. We've just put a really cool new watch along series up on YouTube as well. Of us just basically watching free matches on YouTube. That's really fun.
Awesome. Folks, go check out the pod, man. It's really good times, fun stuff. And I'm still trying to find my way onto that sucker at some point. So yeah,
get you on the watch alongs.
Oh, dude, I would love to do that, man. Yeah, for sure. We got to figure this out. We got to coordinate. I'm actually going to take my first vacation of the new year, the week of, the week ending the 5th, the week after. So if there's anything happening that week, when's Revolution?
That's the 6th.
The 6th.
So it's that Sunday?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you guys are watching, if that's something you want to set up, might make that happen if it's something you guys are into. So
we'll probably do a watch along.
There you go. Sounds good. All right, kids. Well, Tom's booking everybody before we even get there. So I'm planning ahead. Folks, thanks as always for watching. I do appreciate you. We'll be back again next Friday. Same Tom time, maybe, but always same Tom channel. I appreciate you guys hanging out. Have a great weekend. Jay and Ben, my thanks to both of you for showing up today, and thanks for hanging out, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Oh, no, yeah, thanks for having us. It's been a pleasure.
Awesome. Everybody have a good weekend, okay? We'll see you next week. That's it for us. Thanks much, kids. Tom Clark's Main Event.